The African Business Talk analyzes Africa's business development and how policies and initiatives affect the lives of the African. The talk aims at opening opportunities for industry as well as sound trade culture practices between business owners and entrepreneurs in continental Africa and in the diaspora. Don't miss it as we engage think tanks, businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, chief executives, innovators and people who have worked to transform countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Benin, Togo, South Africa, Botswana, Egypt and many other African economies. The African Business Talk, live on Business Television Africa. This is African Business Talk. Welcome to African Business Talks on Business Television Africa. Today, we are visiting the Rwandan nation. In Rwanda, after the 1994 genocide, that country has been developing and developing steadily with so much improvement in its economic growth. GDP growth, which was averaging about 8% from 2010, is currently moving up the ladders. Gross domestic product is something that really measures how an economy is growing. If you look at per capita income, which was around $500 in the year 2002, today, per capita income in Rwanda is over $1,000. This is a growing economy. One of the sectors that is contributing heavily to the growth of the sector is the service industry. The service industry has one big player, which is an aviation industry. 46% of its contribution to the GDP is no means a figure, but something that needs to talk about. Today, we are right here at the Rwandan Air, one of the airlines that flies the flag of Rwanda. We'll be talking about it after this break. Do you know that there are more successful people in Ghana today than before? Well, that is the truth. And the secret is in prudent financial planning with the right financial manager. You need to know the right fund manager who spends your money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, and 12 months in a year. That manager is at Gold Coast Fund Management. At Gold Coast, your money never sleeps. It revolves every second to give you more money for use when you really need it. For the past 21 years, Gold Coast Fund Management has held a strong reputation of spending people's money to beat inflation, depreciation, and treasury bill rates. Put your money to work. Move from savings to investment. Pay your investment tithe into the Gold Fund and Gold Money Market Fund, and be assured that when you are in need, you can turn to them to resolve your financial problems. Gold Coast Fund Management. Investment advice worth its weight in gold. The African Business Talk analyzes Africa's business development and how policies and initiatives affect the lives of the African. The talk aims at opening opportunities for industry as well as sound trade culture practices between business owners and entrepreneurs in continental Africa and in the diaspora. Don't miss it as we engage think tanks, businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, chief executives, innovators and people who have worked to transform countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Benin, Togo, South Africa, Botswana, Egypt, and many other African economies. The African Business Talk, live on Business Television Africa. You're welcome back to African Business Talk. I'm doing this with Ignatius of Rwandan Air. The World Bank and some other experts in the industry has also predicted that there will be a lot of movement from the year 2010 to 2015 because they see Africa as one of the eyeballs of most investors. I mean, how, looking at this trend,
because 2015 is just next year. I mean, then it means that you have been taking a lot of advantage of what analysts have predicted.
Exactly.
Are you rightly positioned for the future? I mean, Rwanda, are you taking advantages or opportunities in what is happening at the moment?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Rwanda as a country has already actually viewed that even before. Like you said, the economic gap that the economic vision mentioned, 2010 to 2015, now only 1 year remaining.
That's right.
Yeah, Rwanda has been active in that gap, in that bracket of vision. And actually, Rwanda was taken up as a national carrier in 2009.
Okay.
It was all about looking at that perspective, that vision, and it wanted to position itself in a way that it manages its own airline aligned to its vision.
How has it been doing that?
And since then, that's when Rwanda managed to purchase its own aircraft, the first aircraft of its own. And since then, Rwanda has managed to purchase 8 aircrafts.
Wow.
And during that period, of course, it has even repressed some that were not doing very well. Because in this kind of situation, the airline has to position itself in a way that it will be competitive enough. And being competitive means the service is okay and the equipment you're running is up to date. And we had some that were not up to the modern situation that we needed. So we had to repress them. So since that time, we have repressed 4 aircrafts, 2 Boeings and 2 CRJs. So we could even be having more. But all that, we are doing it to accommodate the growth opportunity that you are talking about. Because since we started purchasing even the first one in 2009, looking at that vision, the rate at which we were seeing our development encouraged us even to purchase more and to expand our network. Because since during that time we were only flying to East Africa, and now we were having like 4 destinations, and now we have got 16 destinations. In only those few years, we have only 1 year to reach 2015. So you can see that we are well positioned. Rwanda is well positioned to that vision, and it has made quite enough out of that opportunity within that vision gap. And the future viewed ahead, looking at the past, is encouraging.
It's encouraging. I mean, I have read a lot about Rwanda. I have seen that Rwanda is now an African country that a lot of investments are heading towards. I mean, I was not surprised at all when I heard that Rwanda has 8 aircraft. I mean, I said, wow, this is really an economy that is ready to take Africa by storm. I mean, looking at 1994, when you head yourself into that genocide. And right after that, within a period of 20 years, you have changed, transformed the economy to a much more attractive economy. And then Rwandan Air has been one of the industries, I mean, the sector within the aviation industry that is making a lot of stride. But you know, certainly you should have some objective, because I really want to understand what really is the difference, the differentiator in what you're doing and what most other airlines in Africa are doing. Because in Africa, we do not have a lot of airlines here. Operating Ghana does not have an airline yet. So what is the differentiator? What is making you the best?
Okay, one is the general vision of the country. Looking at our past, as you said, in 20 years back, it wasn't a good thing that Rwanda portrayed to the world. And it's high time now. It shows that that was just an error, a small mistake. I can call it a big mistake
that was a big mistake.
Shouldn't be repeated.
That's right.
And a mistake that shouldn't account for our future, that we keep with that kind of history. But we, as a country, we had to write another history that is far different from what the history we passed. And in this was to overcome those challenges. The country had been put to a lower level. And now these people want to grow, to get out of the poor economic situation they were in. So when they are having that kind of growth, is all aligned to the major national plan and vision, because Rwanda as a nation has a vision for 2020 vision.
Great.
So it was that vision that the country wanted to, that it was to be bearing or a direction that we have to develop a pace that we know that by 2020 we are there where we want to be. The sectors of the economy, all of them are looked at. Rwanda is just one of them. You're asking how come Rwanda is growing so fast, what is it using?
Yeah.
It's not only Rwanda as Rwanda, it's the general national perspective and national vision that it has. It's growing alongside all other sectors of the economy. So Rwanda growing is just one of the indicators that even other sectors of the economy are doing. So in entirely the general economy is booming, is rushing, is towards that vision that we have. Yeah. We have the vision 2020 and we have the vision even 2050.
That's
so
right.
We want to reach there, and every sector of the economy has to run parallel towards that. So Rwanda is there. So Rwanda, we look at providing what the expectation of our passengers or our clients. And this includes comfort, it includes better customer service, and the worth of what they pay for their travel. So that every flight they make, they still have that kind of enthusiasm to see themselves on board again.
That's right.
And this is what we've been doing, and we are gradually achieving it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, viewers, this is Rwandan Air. We are speaking to Ignatius, the sales manager of Rwandan Air. African Business Talk wants to really explore the opportunities in most African countries. We are here in Rwandan Air because we believe that partnership and flying on Rwandan Air is making you a true African. Today, we believe that Africans should belong to Africa and support the African business. However, we want to understand whether Rwandan Air can stand the stiff competition that is coming very soon. If it has already not arrived in the aviation industry, looking at it in its entirety.
Yeah, sure. Personally, I normally believe if you fear competition, you can never venture into business. And competition is very healthy for any business to grow. In Rwanda, we know competition is ever there in every business, in every business environment. So we are set for that competition. And it's not that we are looking at the competition that is coming. Competition has been there. And we always enter into markets we already know there is competition. And the competition here, I even talk of like airlines that have been in the industry for over 30 years and 50 years. But we don't fear going there because they exist there. And when we go there, we have not pulled out of any destination because we have failed. That means we are ready set for any competition. And we also try to compete alongside others. Because this is a service industry, we are selling service. So we try to maximize the best the customer will need as a service.
That's right. Ignatius, we want to go for a short break. When we come back, we want to look at security, because security is key, very, very important when it comes to the airline business.
Sure.
We'll be back. Do you know that there are more successful people in Ghana today than before? Well, that is the truth, and the secret is in prudent financial planning with the right financial manager. You need to know the right fund manager who spends your money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, and 12 months in a year. That manager is at Gold Coast Fund Management. At Gold Coast, your money never sleeps. It revolves every second to give you more money for use when you really need it. For the past 21 years, Gold Coast Fund Management has held a strong reputation of spending people's money to beat inflation, depreciation, and treasury bill rates. Put your money to work. Move from savings to investment. Pay your investment tithe into the Gold Fund and Gold Money Market Fund, and be assured that when you are in need, you can turn to them to resolve your financial problems. Gold Coast Fund Management. Investment advice worth its weight in gold.
The African Business Talk analyzes Africa's business development and how policies and initiatives affect the lives of the African. The talk aims at opening opportunities for industry as well as sound trade culture practices between business owners and entrepreneurs in continental Africa and in the diaspora. Don't miss it as we engage think tanks, businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, chief executives, innovators, and people who have worked to transform countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Benin, Togo, South Africa, Botswana, Egypt, and many other African economies. The African Business Talk, live on Business Television Africa. You're welcome back. This is African Business Talk. Today we are talking to Rwandan Air. Ignatius is the sales manager of Rwandan Air. But you can send us your comment on our WhatsApp numbers 050629 0721 050629 0721 and ask of anything you want to know about Rwandan Air. Perhaps you also want to know about the Rwandan economy. You might want to take a trip and visit Kigali and see how beautiful that country has been turned into. Ignatius,
Yes, sir.
it is of much importance to talk about security because a lot more people have know about airlines and some sort of insecurity when it comes to it. The airlines, I don't know, you bought 8 airlines. I do not know which airlines you bought, whether it's an old, dilapidated airlines or something that we know. So let's talk about what is the new Rwandan air fleet like?
Actually, Rwanda is ranked apparently as the airline that has the youngest fleet in Africa. I can say the oldest we have is 4 years.
4 years?
Only 4 years.
Okay.
Like I said, in the fleet we have, we replaced 4. So Rwanda doesn't believe in running old equipment. Because
I go to the airport and I see your airline, your flight, and it looks like a bird.
It looks like a bird.
Yeah.
Which one?
I mean, if you look at it, it looks like a bird. It's beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful. You look at it, the eye of an eagle, Yeah, sure. It's going to go deep into the skies and, do a lot of... Yes, so...
Now, actually, all our aircrafts are the next generation aircrafts, and we look at the modern aircrafts. Though you may hear it's a Boeing, but you look at how old is it? Because every time the technology is improving and improving and improving. It doesn't change the brand name, but technology is improving. So the latest aircrafts that are being produced have an added technology. That's why we always look at operating a young fleet, because we know it has the modern comfort, the modern technology that is required by our passengers.
So one of the key things that troubles most African airlines is longevity. You be in the business, they fade out not too long, but too soon. Let's talk about Rwanda Air in the next 10 decades. Are we going to still have Rwanda Air?
Oh, Rwanda Air will be there and will be booming and will be far steps ahead, because as a country of Rwanda, they can boast of the kind of plan and vision and the strategies to achieve the visions. It's encouraging. If I look back 20 years, whatever was in vision is being achieved gradually. And Rwanda is part of that whole scenario. So in 4 years we have reached, it doesn't show us a ray of failure or a ray of putting out of the business.
That's right.
Instead, it gives us a bigger vision that in 10 years, if in 5 years or 6 years, since 2009 and 10, we can reach where we are today. If you look at the rate of development and we keep the pace, or even we add on it, where shall we be in a decade? So we apparently have a vision of by 2020 to be having 17 aircrafts. And 17 aircrafts, these will be including even the modern and bigger equipment that will help us.
And talking about 17 aircrafts, can you take us quickly take me through the stairs, the stairway into the airline, and just give my viewers a visual appearance of Rwanda Air?
Yeah, sure. Like we started with small aircrafts and that would run within the region where we were able to fly. And now our network is a growing one. We have grown up from the 4 destinations to 16 destinations as of now, in just a few years back, 5 or 6. So we have that kind of vision where we want to at least start 2 to 3 destinations per year, and that requires a number of aircrafts. So the expansion rate has to go along with the fleet acquisition. That's why we are saying by 2020 we should be having 17 aircrafts, and these aircrafts include also the bigger ones, the Airbuses and others that will help us even to go further Africa, because now we are operating more in Africa. We are operating.
Ignatius, I want you to go back to my question again.
Exactly.
I mean, I want my viewers, we might be showing the pictures of of your airline on the screen, but I want you to take us through, give us a picture view of your airline. If I'm walking through the stairway and entering there, what are the things that I'll see? What are the new gadgets that are being there? I mean, with the first class, sitting, how does it look like? And the economy class, how's the sitting like? Because a lot more airlines are talking so much big things about the sitting, the comfortability, the area space, and I mean, walk us through that.
Okay, all those, we are also into that because, like I said, what we look at is the comfort and safety of our passengers. All our aircrafts that we have, the new ones, like I said, we operate the young fleet. We order from the factory, and there are some specifications we give that will match the needs of our passengers. The legroom on the business class, that is with modern facilities. That
like what?
Like entertainment facilities. We can say, depending on the size of the aircrafts that we have and how maybe the company makes their own aircrafts, we may not say we will force them to put the first class configuration into the business class. Okay. So it all goes with what they are producing. But we also look at what is comfortable for our passengers. Per now, okay, we don't have those with first class, but we have the business class and the economy class. But along that vision that I said, we are looking at the 17 aircraft by 2017, about 2020. All those will be there with the first class, with the business class, the modern way, with the best and excellent service. We look at the service. Our crew are very well trained and imparted with the sense of customer service.
That's right.
As the first thing.
I mean, talking about customer service excites me a lot because I've read a lot about Rwanda, and I know that one of the greatest contributing factor to your success within the industry is that of customer service. Africans are not related when it comes to customer service. What is the magic wand?
Yeah, one of it is that we know we are selling a service. It's not a commodity that one will get the satisfaction from testing it by the tongue or
that's right.
By what? So satisfaction from a service goes with the mood, the whole entire mood of the passenger, from the tangible and the intangible. So, and Rwanda knows it has to make the best out of that so as to sell it well, because it's what it is selling. And how to get there? Rwandair looks at its employees first. You motivate the employees and they feel comfortable, and they will also take care of your employees, and the employees will take care of your clients.
That's right.
That's the vision we have. So when we say the employees are also satisfied and motivated, they will take care of the clients very well. That's the formula along. But still, we do a lot of trainings for the old people that have to do with, to meet the customer along the travel plan. Beginning, maybe let's say, right from the sales point, where the passenger will buy a ticket, has to begin that experience and enjoy it and anticipate what is going to face ahead. At the airport, we have to make sure that the passenger gets the best of the service. On board, he gets the excellent service. So all those people that are players on those points of travel for the passenger are looked at. And trainings are given, motivations are given to the staff, and they're always encouraged. And of course, evaluation is done to see if it's being done. If you can't do it well, then you don't keep in the system, because you can break the system chain. So we look at all those, and the combination of all those, eventually the customer benefits out of it and is able to testify of that. And that's maybe why you're saying, you are hearing that Rwandair is excelling in service. It's not by Rwandair that we go saying that we are giving excellent customer service. This is a testimony by those who have tested it. We don't know where they met you to tell you that. That makes us have the evaluation part of it, that we are making it. But we want to do much more of it.
Yeah, as an African, and I'm sure as an African yourself, and promoting the African business is what we actually want to do. But aside promoting the African business, and businesses prospecting, I mean, profiting from the African, the African business should also give back to the African society in terms of corporate social responsibility. I mean, that's, this is not something that can be bargained about. I mean, is Rwandair taking that advantage of, you know, becoming one of the best airline in Africa, and also showing that through the people in the African region?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, corporate social responsibility is one of our core values as an airline. And this is even backed by the nation, by the government. In every other parts of the government, of the economy of Rwanda, corporate social responsibility is one of the encouraged things. Because we believe in sustainability developed from our own, before we think of external support as Africans, not even as Rwandans, but we look at ourselves as Africans, needing to get ourselves out of whichever poor economic state we are in, putting one another. If I'm able, I get someone who's not able.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. If we don't do that as Africans, then some will be at the apex of development, others will be under the ground. So
that's right.
What Rwanda is doing also is to participate in that. So this started within the hub where Rwanda is, that is Rwanda, because a lot of needy society was there, looking at the history. So Rwanda does help. It helps those orphans. There are some orphans, some families run by young people because maybe their parents died. So Rwanda does that a lot, and every year routinely. And Rwanda also gives like textbooks to some schools. That's right. This was even done some time back in association with the USA and the Boeing industry. So they provided some textbooks, science textbooks to some universities in Rwanda. But now we look at, even when we are growing our network, we also need to do that where we are. And either in terms of sponsorships for various activities, maybe for Ghana with just a few months old, but in other parts of the network that Rwanda operates in, they go ahead even to identify some need in the society and do help as per the need. And we believe even in Ghana here, we will do it. Already we have ventured into sponsoring some events. We have done that before. Okay. And definitely as we go on with Ghana,
I'm sure
we will do quite a lot, even
will
reach out to the most needed. Yeah.
You're still watching African Business Talk. We'll go for a break. But he talked about customer service. We will now go and experience how RwandAir serves its customers when we come back.
Okay. Do you know that there are more successful people in Ghana today than before? Well, that is the truth. And the secret is in prudent financial planning with the right financial manager. You need to know the right fund manager who spends your money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, and 12 months in a year. That manager is at Gold Coast Fund Management. At Gold Coast, your money never sleeps. It revolves every second to give you more money for use when you really need it. For the past 21 years, Gold Coast Fund Management has held a strong reputation of spending people's money to beat inflation, depreciation, and treasury bill rates. Put your money to work. Move from savings to investment. Pay your investment tithe into the Gold Fund and Gold Money Market Fund, and be assured that when you are in need, you can turn to them to resolve your financial problems. Gold Coast Fund Management. Investment advice worth its weight in gold.
You're welcome back to African Business Talk. We're here in RwandAir, and at RwandAir, they say embracing the African skies. Fortunately, we couldn't do this without having a lady with us. And Susan, how are you doing?
Very well.
Good. You know, it's quite exciting when people hear about airlines, because already there's a scare, you know. But when customers, as a customer service person, when a customer walks in, how do you embrace the customer with your smile?
Thank you. Actually, every customer that walks in here has a specific needs that needs to be met. And especially for us in RwandAir, we try to identify this need and make it sound or look that simple and easy. So it goes with a smile first, making the customer know that yes, he or she is welcome. And then we start having a chat with you. First of all, we will need to also identify even your budgets, so we can meet you really at the point of your need.
You mean when I come here with a lower budget, RwandAir will fly me?
Yes, because one of our aims as customer service is to meet you at your budget. Make sure that you'll be able to fly with us. So whatever be the case, we'll go round the first and get you what to meet your need.
What are the expectations of clients when they walk in? How do you see their demeanor, especially when you give them such a good service?
They ask you, is it going to be like this on board? And it's like, it's going to be excellent, more than this. Some would go to the extent of asking you, how is the service like? I would say, go experience it and come and tell me, because I know you're going to recommend it to at least 3 people to come fly with us.
And what is the experience like?
It's always been beautiful, beautiful. Some would even get there, call you from wherever they are to tell you, I really did enjoy the flights. I'm going to tell other people, you know. You need to come try with us.
Well, that's not me, but you also who's watching us, because RwandAir is promising us something that is embracing the African sky. Let me go to Ignatius. Ignatius, yes, it's quite interesting. Why do you fly to Kigali before you connect to other countries?
Actually, this is a requirement it's an international requirement. All airlines pass through their hub. Like it's not
Yes,
Rwanda that
right.
is doing this alone.
Because
I
a lot
think-
more people think that if he's going to Johannesburg,
Yes.
which moving from Accra to Johannesburg will be about 4 hours.
Yes.
I mean, people who have not flown before will wonder why should it be an African airline has to go back to its hub and then travel back to
It's been like that unless the policies have to change, but we would wish we'd do that as well. But
Do you see a policy changing very soon like that?
with such demand and competition being stiff within the industry, maybe it may be reconsidered. But as of present, most airlines pass through their hub, and Rwanda too still faces that as a challenge somehow. We would also like to fly direct to Johannesburg, to Dubai direct, to meet much more of the expectation of the client. But we have also to do that. And in another way, we do it because we are trying to maximize the business. Because when we look at the traffic we have now to Johannesburg as of present, we may not fly a few that are going to Johannesburg alone in a Boeing of 150 seats. So by passing through the hub, we know definitely we are trying to maximize the use of the equipment we have. We are going to take those that are going to Kigali, and we are taking those that are going to Johannesburg as well, and we are picking more from Kigali to Johannesburg, and thereby we are maximizing the use of the equipment we have as a cost check.
Yeah.
Because,
Being cost effective.
Yes,
in that
yes.
But you know, it's quite exciting. You've not been there for long, but you seem to cover most African countries.
Yeah.
What's the secret?
It's all aligned to the national vision. Like I said, the vision the government has is a wide one, and that we are doing everything that is required to meet it, and every sector is considered, is looked at. The transport sector is one of it, and we are looking at our country not developing on its own, but we also need others to develop. In this we talk of investment, in this we talk of market for what we produce, in this we talk of other commodities that we don't have, we don't produce, that we need for our development. So we look at all the needs for our development and we see where are we getting them, and that causes us to create a clean, an affordable environment, an affordable means that will bring the resources that we need to our country, and that will take the resources that we need to sell to other countries, thereby promoting the international trade and promoting the investment within the country. So investment that we are looking at to be one of the key elements for our national development is transport is one of the key players, and especially airline transport, because we are looking at expanding our wings further, because we want to stretch our hand to where the opportunity is. So we will not go by car to Ghana when we know the opportunity is there.
That's right.
To be quick and to get what we need, the airline must be there. And we are looking at this, that if we leave it to other airlines alone to pray for us that, they may not play it aligned to our vision.
That's right.
That's why even the government of Rwanda chose to handle its own airline and to align it to clearly to its vision, to make sure the pace at which it is developing is aligned to the pace at which we want to realize our vision, and to ease investment in the country. Because, like I said, it's one of the key elements we look at that will turn around our economy. And this is being achieved gradually and positively, because as of now, if a total package of what an investor needs in a country has been put together, and the airline is one of it.
Okay.
So we want it to grow to an international standard, that an international investor will feel comfortable flying with Rwanda to invest in Rwanda. And to even to produce and then transport what is produced to another area where it's needed through Rwanda. So that's why Rwanda is.
I mean, that's a very strong point, because we want to trade. I mean, Africa is looking at trading amongst itself.
Yeah.
And then if you have an airline, that's an African airline, and ready to integrate trade partners with the African countries. I guess it's a brilliant idea.
It is.
But Susan, it's quite a challenge for most companies when it comes to customer service. In most African economies, in most businesses in Africa, they tend to have a lot of people turning away from them, especially due to the fact that they do not practice best customer service deals. In Rwanda Air, you talk about a lot of things that you do, a lot of things, but give me 3 distinctive features. I mean, 3 things that you think will make me, somebody who's watching us, want to come back again.
Yeah. I think the 3 things that will make Rwanda unique is trying to meet your need right here in the office at the time you want to issue your ticket. And then the excellent service you would also get on board in flight. And then also...
That's 1. That's 2 in 1.
Okay, I got that. But our fares are very competitive. I think currently Rwanda Air offers the best fares, the lowest fares. Yet it has the highest customer service.
Great.
And then Rwanda in Kigali is one other area in Africa that I think most Africans have not really visited that much. Let's talk about Ghanaians going to Rwanda. Just a few, or just a little percentage might know Rwanda or talk about Kigali. So I think it is another attraction for Ghanaian, especially traders or tourists or visitors, to use Rwanda Air to get the opportunity of visiting Rwanda. Talk about Kigali.
That's right.
Yes, because you could have a night overstay or stopover in Kigali.
Wow.
And it's visa on arrival, so you just pay some token, I think $30, and then you just get into the country, explore a bit. And I think it's a good opportunity for young traders, especially traders in this culture artifacts.
That's right.
And our local fabric dresses. I think it's a good opportunity for some of them. So I think that's also another great attraction for Rwanda Air and Rwanda.
I'm excited because it then opens up Kigali to a lot of Ghanaians who want to really go there and look at opportunities there and want to invest there. But there's another dynamic area which I believe you are exploring as well. A lot more people have challenges when it comes to online ticketing. Booking reservations, sometimes you would not have response, you would not have your ticket reservations done. You're thinking that it's done, you get to the office, it's not done. I mean, these are challenges within the industry. What is the difference here when it comes to Rwanda Air?
What he's saying is very true. We've had just few occasions that personally with me, that they'll call and say, I tried booking and I couldn't end the reservation. Sometimes it's got to do with a network problem and stuff like that. But I realized that I asked about the details and it is really there. It is really there in our system. So with that, if a passenger would want to continue purchasing it with a credit card, I just give you the go-ahead to do that. Or want to come into the office to do it, we are always here 24/7. My boss would say, we are always here to do
24/7.
Yes, because my boss is always online. Yes.
The issue of dollarization has come up in this country. We want to talk about your destinations, but I want us to look at dollarization that the government of Ghana is trying to fight. I mean, airlines, you are international, so definitely you will be wanting to be charged in dollars. However, the the Ghanaian economy and most economies. For example, if you go to South Africa, you do not pay dollar when you're purchasing a ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, and Ghana wants to, really look into that line. And most African countries will want to also, look at that as a way of keeping their currency. Is it a challenge for you?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. To some extent, it is a challenge because where the airline is a foreign company, and where we are serving elsewhere, we're using dollars, and sometimes we need to transfer the equivalent in dollars. But to another part, it is an opportunity for Ghana because when we look at the economy and it's maybe being tampered with because of the devaluation of the currency, and the government is trying to put measures to check that. It's a healthy thing that us have to pray along with them. Though sometimes the only challenge that we normally have is that right from within the system fares which are saved in the GDS to be accessed across the world where our tickets are being made, to unify the currency, it is in dollars. And when you quote in dollars, after a few days, the Ghana cedi goes high.
Yeah, that's right.
It will go high also.
Yeah.
And today you quote a fare, tomorrow you quote a different one when someone comes to buy. Maybe he asked of a fare, or you advertised a certain fare. Like now we are having a challenge in advertising fares.
That's right.
Because we can't put an advert in the newspaper or on TV with fares in Ghana cedi because tomorrow it will change. But if it is dollars, it may keep constant for even a year. So there is a small challenge. Yeah. But we are meeting it. We try to make sure that it doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect our clients.
Unfortunately, time is not a friend to such a wonderful discussion. But before we go, I want to finally ask you this. Routes for RwandAir is very key.
Sure.
I mean, where do you fly to, and how or where do you plan to fly to as well?
Great. Thank you. Actually, this is something that I knew we wouldn't cross the program before I mention it. After all this discussion and people will go out wondering where does RwandAir fly.
That's right.
Yeah, actually. RwandAir, like I said, the expansion rate has been so fast. The hub is Kigali, but from Kigali we fly to Uganda and Entebbe. We fly to Nairobi. We fly to Mombasa. Both of them are in Kenya. We fly to Dar es Salaam and Kilimanjaro. Both of them are in Tanzania. We fly to Johannesburg. We fly to Libreville and Brazzaville. Of recent, like a few weeks ago, we started Douala, Lagos from Kigali, and Accra from Kigali. And we also fly Dubai as one of the destinations that we have now out of Africa. So the rest you have had are within Africa.
That's right.
Like yours, we have a longer vision. Like I said earlier, where we are looking at by 2020 to have at least 17 aircrafts. We are also looking at having at least 60 destinations, if possible, within like 2050. So within 2020, then we should be somewhere along that line, along the way. Because the reason why we look at more acquisition of the fleet is because we are also having a big vision to expand our network. We have soon on plan the Asia, part of Asia. We are looking at Mumbai. We are looking at Guangzhou, because when you look at the African economy and trade, actually there is a big tie between Africa and Asia. And now China becomes one of them. So we are looking at Guangzhou as well. We are looking at this part of Europe also, where we will look at Amsterdam and Brussels soon. So we also look at fast exploring some of the other major cities in Africa as well, because this is an African airline and we need to tap into the African market. As I said earlier, RwandAir, together with Rwanda as a nation with its vision, we are looking at the development of Africa.
That's right.
Sometimes I tell people, she mentioned that we offer lower fares. Someone who is used to maybe matching price and service may say they are offering lower fares because maybe I may get a cheap service.
Yes, right.
That's not our vision. I just need to clear this to the public. Rwanda as a country has a big vision. So subsidizing the fare doesn't mean it will give a cheaper service or a poor service.
Yes, right.
No. I can say even Rwanda government will cover the cost to make sure it gives an excellent service for an affordable fare.
Thank you very much, Ignatius. This is African Business Talk. Today we are in the office of RwandAir, and RwandAir is the pride of the African skies. Indeed, if you have not flown the RwandAir, then I believe you have not flown any aircraft. It is better to fly in RwandAir than to fly, perhaps any other aircraft. Because today we've heard a lot that seems to tell a story of an African business moving through the African skies. Thank you very much, Susan, for having you on African Business Talk. Thank you very much, Ignatius, for spending some time with us today on African Business Talk. My name is Samuel Kofi Amba. Thank you.